Yeah, man, I was liking this offseason a bunch. It felt a little bit different, didn't it? But yeah, I mean, news always travels our way. I feel like the New York Jets are just great head turners when it comes to just things happening that are out of the norm. So we capture people's attention, and this is not a great look, but there's some more information I think we could dive into to sort of put some better context on this entire situation here.
Well, I'll tell you what. As of now, none of this has been verified by reputable media outlets. There's been no criminal charges against Geno Smith to this point. All we have is basically a viral video where a woman makes accusations against Geno Smith. The accusations, I mean, seem to show that Geno Smith apparently didn't support their special needs child here. I mean, I don't even really know how to truly word it. I'm just going to play the full video that was posted on this woman's Instagram account last night, and then we will react accordingly.
Call the police.
Gina just beat my ass. That's why.
She coming here.
I came in there, I put 7 down, and I left. You ran outside and attacked me, bitch.
Call the police, man. This is crazy.
You came outside and attacked me.
My family.
Fuck you. I don't give a fuck about y'all. Bitch. Help!
Leave my neighborhood.
You broke my fucking computer. Fuck you. Move. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. Get out of my car.
Bet you.
Get out of my car. Stop.
Get up.
Oh boy.
So here's the sum of what we know, right? Viral Instagram allegations. Nothing has been independently verified yet. You haven't had any of the big outlets cover this story. A woman posting under the handle at everything Chris XO, her name is Kristen, accused Geno of attacking her and neglecting a special needs child. The video that was just shared online and that we just played the replay of on the show appears to show a heated dispute at Geno's residence, or what we think is Geno's residence there. Police are later seen at the scene, but there's been, again, no arrest shown on camera, and the clip itself does not show any physical assault whatsoever. Among the articles that I've read, no one's verified the woman's full legal identity, her specific connection to Geno, or again, any of the claims in the video being true. And as of this morning, the Jets, Geno, authorities, no one has publicly commented or confirmed any charges have been pressed. So the bottom line is there's some accusations that are obviously serious, but again, these are just accusations right now. There's nothing legally that Geno Smith is facing at this point. So hopefully I summed that up to the best I can. Frankie, what do you make of where we're at right now with this?
Well, first off, that's not Geno's baby mama, or that's not the mother of his child. So that's not Seven's mother. Seven's mother, actually, they're not together. Obviously, her and Geno. She posted this morning on Instagram saying that Geno Smith's more than a capable father on Father's Day, I guess, hugging Seven. So that is not Geno's baby mother. Okay. That's his girlfriend. He's not married. So I guess and this everything Chris XO, Jake, I saw earlier this morning, she had deleted it. She posted a story saying that Geno's mother, or the mother of Geno's kid, the mother, she had texted somebody that Geno's like a deadbeat father and treats his kid like you would send money online to like some child overseas or something. That's kind of how he treats that baby. But now I guess the mother maybe doesn't feel that way in the fact that she just posted what we just had tweeted from uStadium, which is Geno hugging the child. So if you want to put that up, yeah. So that's, just provides a little bit more context.
So who is this person then?
Geno, that's the mother of Seven. That
Seven is the name of Geno's child. Explain that.
Yeah, Seven's sorry, Seven is it. No, Seven's the child's name. The child's name is Seven.
Right.
This here, EETHR, that's the mother that's Seven's mother.
And Geno is together with this person or no?
No, Geno's together with this new girl, Everything Chris XO, that's living with him in Miami. They're not together anymore. I assume Geno's not together with this EETHR, but that is the mother of his child, Seven. Does that make sense?
I guess. I don't understand why this Christian woman is going
Geno's
crazy.
Geno's not with his baby mama. They're not together.
All I know is this.
Yeah.
I don't, unless there's criminal charges, I don't believe this is going to be this big controversial
I
story.
don't either.
Like, again, there's nothing going on right now. Unless there's charges filed, this just feels like drama that Geno has to deal with in his personal life, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will have any impact on the Jets or the NFL will get involved and do some sort of investigation.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if charges are pressed, which there's no indication that they are.
She said charges will be pressed,
yes,
but that hasn't actually happened yet.
No, I mean, we'll know probably today if something was filed with the local police department. I guess that's kind of how this thing goes. I don't really know what she's claiming he did. I don't know what that video really shows. That looks like a pretty heated dispute. I mean, there's really nothing else there. She obviously has her own thoughts about Geno. Geno probably should figure out a way to get this person maybe out of his life if she's causing this much chaos for him. If he did do something bad, then, the right actions should be taken. You shouldn't put your hands on a woman, right? I mean,
the clip didn't show anything.
No,
Geno
it didn't.
Did.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing one of the clips did show was a firearm in the bathtub or in the sink area. I don't know.
I did not see that.
So I don't.
Yeah.
This was in the video. If you zoomed in, as Twitter detectives focused in, so you could see like a gun there in a sink.
Jeez,
maybe the gun is licensed. I don't know, but this could be the potential issue here. This right here.
I did not see that. That is wild. That's not a regular gun. That looks like that's a machine gun, right? That's a semi-automatic machine gun. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
This could be the illegal aspect of the whole thing. Now, again, I'm not an expert on this. I talk about football for a living.
Yes,
I don't enjoy these stories at all, but it is Jet related when the quarterback for the Jets is in the news for something like this. So this could be the issue here. Now, again, Geno's in Florida. Maybe the gun is legal. It's licensed. I don't know. We don't have any of the details on this.
That people are talking. I'm reading a few comments. People are saying that's in New Jersey. I believe that is in Miami. That's Geno's home in Miami. Geno's not in New Jersey right now. So I talked to Nick this morning. He said no. He's in Florida. So just putting some context on that, because there's no way that gun would be legal in New Jersey or New York.
But it could be legal, and it is legal in Florida.
It could be. Yes. So that's in Florida. I'm like 95% sure that his home there is in Miami, where he's from. Yeah. I mean, listen, this is not a great situation. Now that I didn't think it was much of a deal really until that. Now things start getting a little bit more interesting. I don't know if a video is enough evidence to prove that somebody's holding an illegal firearm. But we saw this with John Morant in the NBA, where allegations and a quick clip of him in a car flashing a gun became a problem. I don't know. If she wants to do something to him, which it seems like she does, or she did, she didn't bring the gun up at all. If she really wanted to, have her gotcha moment to Geno, that would probably make sense. Like, oh, he's also got guns in the house, but maybe she wasn't thinking about that. This is just a weird situation, man. This is, you know, I'm not the one to jump the gun with stories like this because
we don't know what we're jumping the gun
exactly.
on. Like right now, it could just be a crazy woman just saying crazy things about Geno. Like there's no crime here. There's no evidence of a crime on video, and there's no charges that have been filed. So it's a big story. But notice the outlets that have covered this are not ESPN and Fox and NBC, Pro Football Talk. You know, it's Black Sports Online. It's it's Dove Kleeman aggregating it. It's not like, again, no one on the Jets beat has covered this story. The New York Post has not covered this story.
Yeah. The only issue here for me is specifically with the decisions that Geno Smith has made throughout his career, which I was a fan of his out of West Virginia. There have been reports about him being immature, some immaturity issues. You even remember as recent as last year, Jake, he's coming off the field, giving the middle finger to fans. I'm not trying to make an assessment on somebody, but it seems like maybe Geno Smith needs to grow up a little bit, just a bit. I mean, maybe he's not putting himself in the best positions all the time to, round out and finish out his career on a positive note. He has an opportunity here. He has a really good opportunity. We've spoken about how talented this offense is. He's got a much better O-line this year than he did last year. He could revive himself. He could make us forget about the first stint of Geno in New York, which was a disaster. And it wasn't our fault. I'll say that. So for everyone, he was really good in Seattle. Yeah. After he got his stuff together and went to a franchise and knew what they were doing and surrounded him with some really good pieces. Yeah. Then he had a few good years and got his money, but he's got to reinvent himself here. He had a bad first stint, and I'm not going to go out and say, this just proves the kind of guy Geno is. And this year's going to be a disaster. I'm not going to go that far, but
it's obviously not a good look. At the same time, it's tough to really give a strong opinion until we have more information. Again, she's accusing him of assaulting.
Yeah. Those are serious allegations. Yeah. You can't. Yeah.
But if there's no charges, then the NFL is not going to get involved. Like, she could make up whatever she wants. I was texting with a police source, I guess is the best way I could word it here, and was just talking to this person about the video. And this person told me, quote, "Don't see any charges coming out. Also, in domestic situations like dating relationships, it's really easy to get somebody arrested based on just accusations, but it's all about if the charge holds up in court. Like, if we lived together, I could quite literally call the cops and say, you punched me in the stomach and it's hurting. Cops would have to arrest you just based on me saying that with zero proof, at least in New York, New Jersey, at least." So,
yeah. Let's assume this, though. I'm 100% with you. Everything you said, I actually agree with wholeheartedly. Let's just do something. Let's do the opposite, though. What if some of this stuff is true?
Well, if he's charged, then the NFL's step in.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if, so that's, something you also have to think about. What if this stuff is true? It's easy to say, she's wrong. She's lying. She's trying to get, a cut out of this, which honestly, when I first saw the video, it seemed like she was provoking him. She was trying to get a clip of him doing something to her. Like,
anyone who films this,
and she's running away. Like, he wasn't really chasing her. He was like walking the other way, and you just
that's unhinged behavior to me. I'm sorry. Like, why? Like if you're assaulted by someone, you don't blast it on Instagram. You go to the police and press charges. Like, that's the move. You don't post it on social media first.
Yeah. I agree. For example, this stuff happened with Jamar Chase a little bit last year. Similar things. I don't know if you remember that. Jamar Chase had his girlfriend, taking pictures of him saying that he was, I don't know what she was claiming. Actually, I kind of forget, but that he was super aggressive with her. I don't know if she claimed he was hitting her. This was big last year in the offseason. Chase was going, into a new deal with negotiations. It got a little bit murky. The thing is, and I spoke to somebody this morning about this, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but this was their take. It's like, well, you don't see this happening to Matt Stafford. You don't see this stuff happening to, Joe Burrows or Josh Allen's or Lamar Jackson or go down the list like the top 10 quarterbacks in football, you won't see this. This happens with wide receivers and some malcontents sometimes, but around the league, but you don't see this with quarterbacks. All right. I guess that's a fair point. It makes sense. I kind of agree. I don't remember this really happening with quarterbacks, but if it's not a big issue, I mean, people's private lives are different than their professional lives. And I think we have to make that disconnect. And I think we all get a little bit caught up in what someone privately and what does that mean, in terms of who they are professionally. Some people live two completely different lives. They're great on the field and they have a lot of issues off the field. And we're just here to watch, really, and make assessments and and the teams are there to kind of figure out what pieces make the most sense. I will say, though, there is something to be said about quarterbacks, Jake, needing to be leaders and us specifically needing a leader here that can turn this thing around. And
from a timing standpoint,
I never thought it was Geno before this. I'm not going to think, obviously, it's Geno after this.
He's the bridge. He's not the long-term answer.
I never liked the move to begin with, to be honest, but I kind of understand, I guess, why. But I never was like, oh my God, we got Geno Smith. This is going to be a 9 or 10 win team. I was never there, and but
it's not even about
the same
that
way now as I did 2 days ago. Yeah, I know
he's not the long term answer. We knew this the second they signed Kirk Cousins. He wasn't the long term answer.
Totally.
The bottom line is this: if there's no charges, I think this blows over. It's happening at a time when there's still 6 weeks before the start of training camp, so there's still plenty of time for this to blow over. It'd be a bigger story if this happened and the Jets were at minicamp this week. And then Aaron Glenn would be asked about it, or, Geno would be requested to speak. And if he didn't go up there to the podium and answer questions about it, it could potentially be a bigger story. But again, the actual mother of the child, as you guys highlighted on uStadium, commented on one of the viral posts showing the video saying, Geno's more than capable of taking care of our son by himself. He has been for years before this lady came around. Leave me and the kid out of it. So, again, I don't know what type of husband or father Geno Smith is, but any woman who's posting this crazy stuff on social media, instead of just going to the police right away, I think that is odd behavior, but we'll see. Super Chat, they cut the line. Mr. Flower starts it off. Florida's a state where the state presses charges. DV not the victim. Also in Florida, that gun is legal. No permit needed. Okay, so if that's true, then there you go from Mr. Flowers. Jetaholic says, just when you think everything's good and quiet, it's always something with his team. Do we know how old the video is? That's the other thing, too. We don't know when that video is from. It surfaced online yesterday night, but we do not know when that video was actually recorded. For all we know, it could have been last week, could have been weeks ago. Who knows?
Totally. Yeah. Two good comments there. I did not know that in Florida that the state presses charges, not the individuals. That's interesting. I had no idea about that. So that's some good context. So I guess the police are going to have to do their research. They were obviously doing their diligence at the scene there, and then they'll decide whether or not they're going to press charges as a state of Florida. So that's interesting. That gun being legal, I'll take your word for it. That's a machine gun. Like, are you just I don't know.
That's legal in Florida, though. Florida's like Texas.
Sure?
It's open
a gun
carry.
like that? Yeah.
Yeah, you could have guns like that as long as
I'm just asking. I really don't know. That seems like an aggressive sort of firearm there. That's not like, just a pistol or something. So,
well, it's not. It wouldn't be legal in New York, but in Florida, that is a legal fire. As long as he obviously had the steps to purchase it legally and his license, but that's legal in Florida.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll take.
I don't think that's a machine gun too, by the way. But I'm not a Call of Duty expert here.
It looks like a Call of Duty gun. Like
that's not a machine gun.
It's not, right? Okay. I don't know what. I'm not a gun expert, so I'm probably
maybe it's a Nerf gun, and this is all much to do about nothing.
Yeah. That was. I'm so people are good on Twitter, man. Somebody caught that because I watched that video a few times. I didn't even think to pause there. So.
The Jake Asman Show is now presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app made simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build your lineup in seconds. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And PrizePicks is already offering NFL futures, including futures for New York Jets players. Take a look at the lineup that you see on the screen. Garrett Wilson, more than 4.5 reception touchdowns. David Bailey, he's going to have at least 7 sacks his rookie year. Arvell Reese, almost a Jet. I think he'll have at least 3 sacks in his rookie year with the Giants. That is a 3-pick power play, $10 to pay out $60. That is just an example of some of the lineups you can make over at PrizePicks. Make your own lineups today for any sport. Just download the PrizePicks app, use the code HMA, and get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. How about this for a transition? Geno Smith controversy? How about Brendan Sorsby, Frankie V? What are your thoughts on Sorsby as a possible option for the Jets, assuming he is approved for the NFL's supplemental draft?
Listen, we spoke about this, Jake, on gangs, and I think we all disagree to a degree. I think Ryan was in the boat of saying we have to offer something, and it should be a significant pick. It should be 3rd rounder, could even be a 2nd. Not that I think he agreed with that, but I think he was saying they have to make this, move in terms of offering something. Kaz, I think, had spoken to people that were suggesting it's not worth it, but throw in a 6th. I'm kind of between both. I don't think Sorsby here is going to ever get a chance to really show who he is. Maybe now, though, with this Geno stuff, maybe you want to think a little bit more about that. But I'd go with like a 3rd or 4th rounder, Jake. I don't.
There's a big difference in a 3rd and a 4th. A 3rd, you might actually get the player.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm at the point now. I would offer a 4th. So I think Ryan was a 3rd. I'm a 4th, and Kaz is like a 6th. But you're not going to get him for a 6, so it's almost not even worth doing it.
I would do a 4th if the Jets liked him. I don't know enough about him to give a strong opinion. Like, again, quarterback is so subjective.
Yeah.
I think in New York, especially, it's about the personality. Can he handle New York? The first interception he throws, people are going to be making jokes. Oh, did he bet against the Jets? And it's also a 1-strike policy in the NFL, and you're banned for life. So if he still has this gambling problem and he bets again, he's done. And I just let a pick on fire. And what if he actually had developed into being the Jet quarterback and then he's gone just like that? So there's just a lot of unknown. I need to know more about him as a person. The Jets, I believe, would get the chance to meet with him before this supplemental draft based on some of the reporting that has been out there on how this would work. So assuming that's the case and they like him, I'm open to it, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to use a 2nd or even a 3rd round pick on a guy that I'm not completely sold on.
Well, the only thing with that is I agree. The problem, though, is you're in a blind, basically like a blind auction. Like you're putting a roundup. So do you really think after us at offering a 4th, this is where I'm kind of, I maybe would entertain a 3rd, because Jake, I don't think you think there's not going to be one other team that's not going to offer a 3rd? Because what you're saying is if you give a 4th, you're saying that nobody behind you is going to give a 3rd. And then, anyone in front of you that gives a 3rd will get him. If anyone behind you gives a 3rd, they'll get him too. A 4th, you'd win if you're in front of those other teams. But do you think a 4th will be enough? Obviously, if a 4th's enough, I wouldn't even think about it. You might need to bump that offer up a little bit, though. I would say.
How bad do you want him? Like I
don't want him that bad. I don't even. It doesn't fit our timeline.
A 4th doesn't hurt me. If I get him, great. If not, I'm okay with it. Like I don't know how many teams are going to put forth a 2nd. I don't buy that. I think he goes for a 3rd by some team.
Yeah, I think you might get the Cardinals, the Browns, the Steelers. They might offer a 2nd, Jake. I don't know how much they're in love with his skill set, but he's a very, very interesting and polarizing prospect. He makes plays. I said it the other day on Gangs. He makes plays where he looks awesome, literally awesome, and then plays where he's awful. That's him. He's like, I had him, if he were to come out of this into this last draft, I would have had him probably ranked right above Drew Aller, who I had as like an early 4th rounder, late 3rd. I had Sorsby around right there, maybe a late 3, early 4, somewhere around there. Both of them very, very, equal in terms of value for me. So, yeah, I'd give a 3rd. probably, but I wouldn't even think about a second. A fourth for sure. Fourth, definitely. I would have drafted him in the 4th round this year. I would have rather probably have him than maybe Klubnik, to be honest. So I mean, a 4th, sign me up. A 3rd, I think Kaz was saying that he values 3rds a bit more than Ryan. The debate was actually really good on the show because they both were making good points. I sort of
A
felt
3rd is a valuable pick. A 3rd is a player that you think by year 2 could be a starter for you.
Year 2 or 3, yeah, a depth piece / starter, for sure. But you can also burn 3rd rounders alive. Like if you go into
the Jets have burnt plenty of 2nd and 3rds, but like again, if you want to be a functioning franchise, you can't think in terms of we've sucked with these picks anyway, so who cares? Like I can't be your process,
No, it's not even just us, Jake. It's if you go through years with 3rd rounders, the 3rd round is a round where you can find the missing piece to an offensive line, to a defensive line, to your linebacker group, to corner, your corner group. But a lot of times those pieces don't really shape out. And you're right. Here it specifically hasn't worked. But when you're comparing that kind of pick to a potential quarterback, you always are going to sway in the direction of going with the quarterback. The problem for me with just saying give up a 3rd is, when is Sorsby going to play? And he might get suspended also. So he might come into the NFL under 4 or 6 game suspension. He's coming into this team pretty late in the summer. I don't know. The timeline, I think the Jets just need to stick to the, plan A, which is we got 3 first-round picks in 2027. We'll figure out our quarterback then. I think that's always got to be the plan. And if
unless you're full-bloom love with the guy, I don't see why you would drastically change your plan in bringing a guy that's going to have some controversy. And it's funny, the Jets might not want to deal with all the Sorsby stuff, but now with this Geno situation, potentially they're dealing with quarterback off the field drama anyway.
Yeah, man. This Geno thing is one of the unique situations where I really have no clue what this Geno Smith led team's going to look like. I mean, this offense. I hope that Frank Reich puts together a game plan for him where they're, uber aggressive. They're throwing the ball down the field. They're targeting Kenyon Sadiq a bunch. They're getting Breece Hall on wheel routes and trying to get him the ball down the field. I mean, they need to do a lot of that this year. If they come in with like some conservative, game plan for Geno, then I just don't think we're going to A, develop anybody correctly, and B, I don't think it's going to, yield enough offense for us to actually win football games. But again, I don't know what kind of Geno we're going to get. I don't know if he's going to be someone that we're going to be in week 10 and we're not even going to think about bringing in another quarterback because the team's looking pretty good, or at least, watchable. Or we're going to get to week 10 and be like, we should have benched this guy 3 weeks ago. When the hell is he getting out of here? Sort of like we felt with Fields this past year. I could see both situations playing out.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.